Lillian, Jet, wait a couple minutes. People come in. Willard, hello. George, I don't know what the view is. Good morning, everyone. People will be coming in for a moment. Um, you can use the chat at the bottom of the screen to just say your name or where you are in the world. That would be nice. Um, I also, I think, got a cold last night and lost some of my voice, so I don't usually sound like this. So I'm going to speak, I think, more slowly than usual or take care of my voice. I'm sorry that this happened right now. Let's see, people are joining us. Turn off my email. Hello, May, Debbie, Iman. Hello. Give this thing a minute. Hello, everyone. Let's stop doing this. Matthew can keep admitting people. Um, Again, I can't. So this is Ami. Good morning. I can't say good morning because I know it's good evening for some of you, good afternoon for some of you. But thank you for being here. And yes, I sound funny to myself at least, but I think we'll have to deal with it. 1 second. Let me close this. Okay. So yes, please, at the bottom you see a chat. Please use that to sort of say where you are if you want in the world and who you are. I can see somebody here. Oh my God, from Myanmar. Wow, May, thank you for joining us. I think you're the first. Uganda, Nigeria, India. Yes, it's early in the morning in New York. It's 8 in the morning. So I think this is probably going to be our most international meeting. This is why we did it at 8 in the morning, so more people could join us. Amber Rose, oh my God. Oh my God. You're back. The week is now complete. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, we're on. Are you in Florida or in Haiti? Okay. Sorry, just welcoming some old friends. So, I'm Ami. Oh my God, this is going to be horrible. I'm sorry. It is not your fault that I got sick overnight. I will do what I can, and I apologize in advance. I want to speak. Maybe if I lower my voice, it'll be better. Do I have a glass of water? Yes, I do. But okay, I'll do my best. Okay, bear with me. So, thank you all for being here. This is the, I think, sixth meeting we're doing this week. There are about 80 of you right here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful week. My God, I'll say for last time, I'm going to do my best, but I don't know what I can do. So we'll see what I can do. It'll probably be shorter this time, or you'll all speak more. I think we're going to go for about an hour. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. At the bottom of your screen, as I said, there's a chat button, and you can use that for saying where you are. We might have a couple of interactions later. If you have questions, when it comes to the questions, please, at the bottom right of your screen, there's a thing that says Q&A. Please use that for questions later. Otherwise, the questions are going to get lost in the chat. Okay, so when we open for questions later, please use the Q&A on the right. Okay, so thank you for that. You're all muted right now because sometimes there's noise outside and there's many of us. Later, we will open the mics to people for also conversation. Okay, so sorry for having everyone muted. Let me see a few things before we start for real. So I think you're all here because last week, mostly I think last week, I sent an email out to our list on Idealist saying that we were looking for, I think the subject line was, we're looking for 1,000 volunteers to launch a global movement. And 8,000 of you go back to us, which was and is amazing. And it feels like only a start, but 8,000 people responded. And so then we set up 7 of these Zoom calls for this week and invited you to join us. I'm assuming, or I know that all of you at least read that email. In some cases, you also clicked and watched the video that was there on YouTube. So I think you mostly know what this is about. But let me, in 1 or 2 minutes, just summarize what we're trying to do here, which is that I think all of us, most of us, I think all of us on this call feel and believe that the world and our communities within it could and should be better. I think we believe that all of us, I think, strongly in different to varying degrees. And I think we are correct. We're right about that. And we're right about that, I think, for two sort of measurable reasons. I think that all of us in our lives have seen a street, a school, a city get better, right? We've all seen that. We've all seen things getting worse. We've all seen things getting better. And if one street, if one school, if one city, if one country can get better, then things, of course, can get better everywhere. I arrived in New York in 1992. In 1982 in New York, there were, I think, more than 2,000 murders that year in the city. This past year, there were fewer than 300. Not because I was here, just that's the case. But the city is a very, very different place than it was 30 years ago. And that is absolutely possible. And it's possible for many things in many places. So we know that things can get better. There's, I think, another personal experience that I think all of us have had, most of us have had. At some point in your life, if we're lucky, it's happened more than once. We were part of a team of some sort that was given a task to do, a good thing to do, and was unleashed to just do it. And I think all of us have experienced the joy of what a group of people can do when given a task and just unleashed creatively to do it. And we can do amazing things as human beings, and we forget that sometimes. So I think we all believe and feel that the world could be better one step at a time. It'll never be perfect, and every solution brings new problems and new issues, but we can always get better. So the question is how? And so we're proposing something that starts off relatively simple. We're saying, what if once a month on these dates that work around the world, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, they're simply very memorable and they work everywhere, right? So 3, 3, and 4, 4 is true no matter what around the world. What if once a month we propose and do at least one good thing to make the world around us better? It can be a small thing, it can be a big thing, but the idea that if we simultaneously inspire each other to do more, then more will happen. More can then happen every month, and then more can happen between those days, because the idea is not necessarily a day of service or a day of action. It's a day in which we celebrate and we spark everything we can do in the month in between, right? So the idea is not to do one thing and then do nothing for a month and then do one thing again. The idea is to at least once a month, let's shine a light on all this good work, all these good ideas, and also do, of course, and invite each other to have this conversation. So that's the basic idea. And that around that and from that, we can build a whole ecosystem of action. Because if you have monthly, events around the world, then groups will start organizing around that. Those groups will start doing more and finding other ways to collaborate, and will find ideas that happen in one place and share with another, and more and more and more and more good thing will happen. All this based on some really basic values of more freedom, more dignity for more people, in a spirit of generosity and respect. That's how we would like to work. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. I hope that makes sense. That's why you're here. I imagine that that's why you came to this call. Thank you, Amber. So that's the basic idea. Before what's going to happen today is, in a moment, I'm going to share my screen for just a few minutes, and then we'll come back and say a few more things, and then open for questions and conversation. A couple of things as we move forward, hopefully together. One, we will be communicating in every way that we can. So far, we used the web, we used email, now we're using Zoom. Some of you, many of you have already found me on LinkedIn. We're going to be using that. We'll be using WhatsApp locally. We'll be using Slack and Discord and Facebook and whatever people want to use that sort of makes sense locally. So we're communicating in many, many different ways, both between us and you, and between you and each other. We'll talk about that in a second. So that's one thing to say. We're going to be in touch as much as you want, or as little as you want, is one thing. Second thing, I do want to say once, just set an expectation about what we cannot do. This is a big idea, but we're not a huge organization. We're not, the UN. We're just a nonprofit with not too many people. And so some people have written me asking me, for a job or for a visa to the US and, to come here, or literally for money, financial assistance. Those are three things that we simply cannot do. I wish that we could hire all of you. I wish that we could meet all of us somewhere in the world tomorrow. I wish that everyone had all the money they need to do the work they can do. We can't provide those three things, and I hope that makes sense. We simply cannot do that. I'm sorry that we can't, but we can't. Okay, so that's, I think, a bit of setting the stage. when we started thinking about this more and more deeply, we started playing, experimenting with this idea of these monthly days, even a little bit before COVID, actually. And we started with small experiments, both online and in New York and some other places, and then kept moving forward. Back in July on 7/7, the reason that I said, hello to Amber, you can see that she can raise her hand, is that back in July, we did a 10-hour marathon on Zoom. We invited some people and sort of basically talk about this deeply. And then we realized that to get started at scale, to really do this well, two things were needed. One was to give us all a bit more time. There's something about when you're doing something every month like this, the next one is always 2 or 3 weeks away. And it's difficult to plan, to invite people to build something. And so we said arbitrarily, let's pick, 3 months up, 5/5. Let's start on 5/5, truly, so that people have time to plan, to think, to gather, to invite friends. And I think also importantly, to individuals can decide things relatively quickly. Institutions, organizations, nonprofits, governments need some time to move, right? If you go and you tell your boss or your school principal, let's do this, she will say, well, let me ask my boss. And so things take time. And so to give institutions a month or 2 or 3 to decide if they want to participate. And of course, the beauty of this is that if someone misses 5/5, well, they can join us on 6/6 or 7/7. We'll be back. We're not going anywhere. But to begin, at least begin one thing. That's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened after that big marathon on 7/7 was it was clear that many people could think of a way that they could start. Others needed sort of one proposal. Let's do this one thing that we can all do together. So we thought, what is one thing that would be easy and universal and that anyone can do and would be beautiful? And so it occurred to us, this started from an idea that we had of watching the sunrise together, and then realized the sunrise, for many people, it's dark, it's cold, it's too early. So we said, well, what if we have breakfast together? Every day starts with breakfast in some way, right? Coffee, tea, whatever. The day has to start somehow. So we thought, let's do a thing that we're calling a global community breakfast on 5/5. And that then expanded in a couple of different ways. One is, yes, it'd be nice to start the day together somehow around the world over 24 hours, locally and each one on their own. But two additions to that. One is to say, when we imagine breakfast, we maybe imagine a group of people getting together and sharing a meal, but it can be both more and less than that. So one is to say that when we imagine that, and we'll imagine that in more detail in a moment when I share my screen, that everything counts. So everything from in New York, for example, we will be gathering that morning anyone who wants to come in the city and do something similar in the world. When we started thinking about this, my colleague Matthew and I thought, what should we do that day? And one thing that I wanted to do forever is to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, this famous bridge, at sunrise. What does the city look like from the Brooklyn Bridge when the sun is rising? So on 5/5 at 6 a.m., we'll get together on the Brooklyn side and walk to Manhattan. A couple hundred people have signed up already. We haven't even promoted it yet. So it'll probably be, I imagine, 1,000 people crossing that bridge together. That would be nice. So that's one extreme. A different extreme, complete different extreme. Imagine someone somewhere who, for whatever reason, is alone, or maybe is in a repressive regime, or maybe can't find anybody else to do this with. And all they do is take a photo of their hand with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and they just post that and they say, good morning to the world. And that's it. And that is enough too. So if you put it in those extremes, anyone, anywhere with a phone or a computer and an internet connection can participate. You can count within this idea of a breakfast, just a photo of yourself eating a cookie, all the way to 1,000 people doing something or having a picnic or whatever. So that's one way in which the idea expanded. The second way is to say that we are a 24-hour restaurant, and basically, if the breakfast doesn't work, then lunch or dinner is fine too, whatever. It's just an anchor to start. It's this idea of starting something together, but if anything else works, that's good too. And then what I'll show you in a second is that it can be breakfast and or breakfast plus. So in other words, in addition, before or after, you can go do something interesting, and I'll show you in a second what we mean by that. So that's the basic idea of focusing our efforts and focusing the attention and the energy on one day on 5/5, believing that if we can show that many, many, many different people from many different countries, these 8,000 people, all of you have come in from 140 countries already. So people from different countries, different cultures, different religions can do one beautiful thing together and see that as a win that we can do. There is so much we can do and just keep doing and building. So focusing our attention on sort of that one day, and also this theme of somehow beginning the day together or not. It's up to you. But basically, there's at least one gathering theme, and then we go from there. Um, Obviously, people will be doing their thing wherever they are in the world. We will also be here online. Imagine this kind of meeting that you're seeing right now, only instead of seeing one face, you're seeing groups of people doing wonderful things around the world all 24 hours, coming in and out. And you're just seeing this constant traffic of people doing fantastic things together everywhere. So far, so good. I'm being more or less clear. Okay. Let me, Amber is holding her cup. Yes. So there you are. So I think I've said what I wanted to say before. My head is a little bit jammed. Let me I'm going to share my screen and then come back to a few more things, and then we'll open up for questions and all of it. So let me do what I can do here. There's 110 of you right now on the call, just to know. Let me share my screen. Oh, can you see this? I think you can. Let me close this. Let me put you. Where are you? Show meeting. Here you are. Let me go back here. Okay. So you can see this. You can see the next slide. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so very quick summary. It's going to be a very short slideshow, I promise. So one is that, like we said, we wanted to find one thing that would work everywhere, that anyone can be invited to, institutionally, personally, it doesn't really matter. And we wanted to, I think if we could, do two things at the same time. One is to strengthen and nurture, in some cases, start and build local connection, while at the same time celebrating all of our shared humanity and showing it and seeing it. One, I think, pretty terrible thing that's happening in the world right now is that in many, many places, people are told that those people across the border, across the street, across the whatever, across whatever line, those people are bad people. They're not like us. They don't have our values. They would never do a good thing. And I think it'd be lovely in one day to show how that's not true, to visually show people all over the world being generous and respectful and doing wonderful things together. So show our shared humanity while also strengthening local connections, and have it be hopefully both easy and beautiful. I'm going to share with you now, sorry, before that. So one is when you signed up, many of you landed also on this page on a tool that we're using called Luma, which I'll talk about more in a second. It's an easy, free tool for organizing events that we're going to be using a lot for this. What you're seeing here is a thing called Global Community Breakfast. We created one page at first to gather all of us there that want to be part of this. Matthew, my colleague, probably already shared the link in the chat. It's idealist.org. It's, I think, luma.com/idealistday55. You can go there. You can, just click to sign up if you want. This is a place for us to see and show the interest in this. And from here, we will go and organize local events and then list them in a calendar. But also, this is the place where we'll be online that day for everyone. What you can see here is the concept, and you can sign up to join it. You can also see a photo showing sort of how simple this can be, as simple as, four hands around some food. It also happens to be a phone with our logo. These people, I hope it's okay that I can say this, my wife won't be angry. These are my daughters, my wife, and my mother-in-law in Spain in the summer saying hello. But just as an example of showing it can be as simple as this, or as I said earlier, it can be as big as this. So this is walking across a broken bridge that day at sunrise, as an example of what can be done, again, sort of the two extremes of this. And there are many, many things like this anywhere that anyone can do and have some fun with it. We'll talk about the fun part in a second. So between these two extremes, there are many, many ideas that we can think of, and we can, describe a few, and then you could come up with many, many more. That's a part of the creativity here. There was a man here from Nepal, I think on Tuesday, who said that on 5/5, he wants to walk 55 kilometers across, where he lives, and just, spread the word to different villages about what we can all do together. So 55 on 5/5, that's great. I don't know if you can continue doing it on 6/6 and 7/7, but 5/5 sounds good. So a few more ideas to share. I'm going to run through just a series of quick ideas here to sort of give you a sense of what we mean by breakfast and or breakfast plus or whatever it is that you want to imagine that day. If at least one of these feels doable to you in some way, by yourself, with others, to attend, to organize, and you can see yourself doing one of these, then we get a global collage, a global mosaic that is just fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start from simple and then all kinds of things and go. So the first one, which is again, I think fairly obvious when people think about this, is meet with either new or longtime neighbors. There are people here, as I said when I started, you can see people on your screen from all over the world. There are people here from places, and the US is definitely a place like that, where some people or many people don't know their neighbors. I don't know my neighbors. I can admit that. And I think it's an excuse here to go out and knock on a door and say, maybe it's time that we knew each other. Come to my house, or let's go outside. Let's sit and sort of finally get to know each other. For some of you, the idea that some people don't know their neighbors is insane. What do you mean you don't know your neighbors? How is that even possible that you don't know your neighbors? But this is true in some places, and so that varies. So you can invite people you know already, or use the excuse to meet new ones. The same thing happens professionally. All over the world, in every city, there are groups of professions or things that we do that gather once in a while to network, to support each other, to learn together. In many places, that actually is not the case. So you may live in a place where you think, it's time that all the farmers in our area got together and helped each other, or it's time that all the nurses had a group in our town and we don't. And so you use this day as an excuse to gather people who should have gathered a long time ago, but no one actually went and did it. And now you have the excuse to do it and to say it's happening everywhere. We can do it here. So either a new group or a group that gathers once in a while, why not do it that day if the day doesn't matter? You can bring a speaker if you want to any of these events, someone who can share a story or an experience that would inspire somebody else. If there's something that we wanted to start for a long time, an association, a community group, a giving circle where people get together and each puts a little bit of money and then you give it together something else. It's a day that would be nice to start it. One thing that I love is the idea that among us, wherever we work, wherever we live, very often there is someone, one or two or three people, who are wonderful to all of us, and we don't thank them often enough, or we don't thank them at all. And to think, who in our institution, who keeps this place going and doesn't get thanked enough. And that day, let's thank them. And that can be, in real life. I mean, that could be sort of person to person, basically in person. Or some of us, I think, belong to online communities or online groups where the founder, the moderator, has never been actually thanked enough. And that day, maybe we surprise her and we say, hey, we're going to thank you today and bring you a flower online. So why not sort of celebrate someone? Changing sort of direction here. Many of you work for nonprofits, NGOs, so host an open house. Tell the community to come in, volunteers, donors, people in the street, come see what we do. We can put it outside. You can come into our office, see what we do and get involved. Some people have the personality or the desire. Our friend Matt here, my colleague with the hat, he loves doing this. Just putting a table outside in a park, in a plaza, on the street, put some coffee, put some donuts, put some cookies, and talk to people about what they're concerned about, what is on their mind, what they would like to change or do, and tell them this is happening in other places. We can brainstorm together. We can think what we can do in different groups with little post-its on the walls, and have some good questions to think what we can do for the community, or use that day to plan a bigger project. Simply have a planning day where we think about something bigger to do whenever we want to do it. Again, changing direction, simply organize a group of friends to go out for a walk or a hike or a tour with, breakfast before or after. We'll talk in a second of the community part of this. And that, of course, can include things like yoga or exercise or meditation or dance or prayer or music. Yesterday already, someone said that she is part of a singing group, and she wants to take her singing group to a senior center, which is what you see here, and sing to the older people who live there in the morning, and then have breakfast with them. So visiting a senior center and actually having breakfast with the people there, she added the idea of also singing to them. So why not? Or playing music. Go and visit a school, be with the kids, read to the kids, talk to them. Of course, ask the school before if you can come. about what we're trying to do together, serve actual in a place that people are eating and that need food, so a soup kitchen or a shelter. Then last set of ideas, things like actually going and building something, cleaning up a beach or a river, a street, whatever, painting a mural, planting a tree. Someone wrote me a couple of days ago that he wants to gather people, maybe he's actually here in his village in Nigeria, to go out and plant trees to stop the Sahara from coming down into the south. And so we can do that. We can play games if people want to do that, raise money for an organization or a cause, and then sort of give it. And then lastly, two last things. One is that if we do all of this and we help even just one person that's wanting to do something and hasn't done it yet, and then take that step to do it, it's all worth it. And of course, take a photo so we can share what we are doing. So this is just one set of ideas. This can lead to many, many more ideas, but just to give you a sense of what is possible. And you can use, again, you can use the chat to react to this and say, you know, which of this appeals to you. One of the things I like about this list, you can, of course, combine it in any way you want. You can play a game and raise money and paint a mural and bring a speaker. This can all happen together. You can play music for people. You can go to a school, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I will add one thing before we sort of actually, I'm going to end here and stop sharing because it's easier to see you. That piece, you saw that some of these ideas sort of involved, in a sense, actual action. We're going to paint something, build something, clean something, you know, solve a problem. In other cases, you simply saw that there were fun, community building things to do. And that's really, really important. It's important, I think, that if we want to do this every month and build on it going forward, the whole thing has to feel fun. It has to feel joyful. It has to feel like something that we want to do. If it feels gray and boring and, you know, oh my God, we're going to just talk about the world's problems and cry together, that is not going to go very far. It has to be the kind of thing where people say, people don't, you know, you don't want people to feel, oh, that day of the month is coming again. Where do I hide before people ask me to do something? As opposed to that day is coming again, something wonderful will happen. Something will make me smile that day. I'll meet somebody new. I look forward to it. It's my favorite day of the month. You know, that's what you want. And to do that, we have to do things that are simply fun, that have no other purpose, that basically and it's okay, that the purpose is to actually build community, feel good for a moment. So I'm very aware that when we cross that bridge on 5-5 in New York, crossing that bridge is not going to solve poverty in New York. I understand that. I get that. But if several hundred people can feel good and can feel stronger and can feel more hopeful and can feel I'm not alone, there are many of us, then we can go and actually do something about poverty in New York as well. And we can just be good together. So if you think of things that you've been wanting to do for a long time and are not necessarily, you know, saving the world, but they actually make you and your neighbors and your friends feel better, that is also a way of saving the world. And if for a long time you thought, you know, I would love to go out at 3 a.m. and ride a bicycle around my city, how would that feel when there's no cars? Well, gather some friends and do it, you know, that night. A museum could stay open all night just because it'd be great to go see a museum at 3 a.m. Why not? So there are all these why not things that we can do that I think could be wonderful. We tried in New York a few months ago, just standing in the street, going to the subway and giving a flower to strangers and just giving someone a flower and saying, have a good day. And people were like, what do you want from me? What are you selling me? We're not selling you anything. We're giving you a flower and wishing you a good day. And that is a nice thing. And the person remembers that. So just that piece about combining sort of action and problem solving with fun and community building. I'm not seeing anything of what's happening in the chat. Hopefully it's good things. I will take a look later. So that's what we want to do. I hope that more or less makes sense. Let me see if I went through most of my list. I think I did. I'll say one last thing before opening to questions. I see that the Q&A is empty, I think, while the chat has many things. If you have literally questions about any of this, please put them in the Q&A so we can try to answer them there. If it's all clear, that is fine too. I want to share one thing with you, which is an obvious sort of next challenge here, which is that many people, many of you on these calls in general, want to meet locally. So people in San Francisco want to find others in San Francisco. People in Haiti want to find other people in Haiti. or in the Congo or Nigeria locally. Um, it's not a completely easy problem to solve. We can't take a list of 8,000 emails and just give it to all of you and have you all email each other. That's not going to work. And so there are other ways of solving this. And that's our big priority for the next week or two, is to organize locally so that you can all meet up. We'll basically ask some of you to step up and be the local, magnet, the local sort of starter of this. You don't have to say it in the chat right now. We're going to get back to you on that. And then around that, begin gathering so we can actually meet together on 3, 3, 4, 4, etc., to prepare for 5, 5, or anytime you want. Once you find each other, once you're together locally, you can decide locally if you want to be in touch by WhatsApp, by Slack, by Facebook, whatever you use locally is fine. We just want to gather you and then go from there. And then having said that, the idea of focus is really, really important. When a bunch of different people gather in one place, especially if you don't know each other and you're from different places and different points of view, it's really important to have focus. The most successful groups online in the world are the most focused ones, right? If you join, there are groups that I think some of you know, where it's a group, for people who play tennis, and you join the group, and if you ask a question about ping pong, they'll tell you, go away. This is about tennis, right? So, and that's a successful group. A group about whales don't want to hear about dolphins. It's just whales. Go away. We're just here for whales. So we're trying to do something together on 5-5 and onward. Whatever people want to do is okay within certain basic rules. And that's what the conversation, I think, should be about. If we start talking about all kinds of things, it will just dissipate. So the idea is to gather, to plan things together for 5-5 and beyond, with the idea that if we can succeed, if we can show ourselves that we can win one big thing, there's so much we can do, but we need to focus to win that. Okay, I think that is what I had to say. I cannot believe the Q&A is empty. Look, you're the first group that has no questions, either because I am making no sense at all or because I'm making too much sense. I don't know. Oh, wonderful, Terry. Is there some word or group of words that should be included when spreading the word about the local breakfast that indicates that this is with Idealist? What if, sorry, and then what if I'm the only one from my country and there's no one to meet in person? Okay, let me start with Terry. Terry, great question. So Terry, I'm going to slow down. Is there some word or group of words that should be included when spreading the word? So this is slightly more than that. I'll say one thing I forgot, which is that in going through all of these ideas and all these images of how this could look and be, we're going to ask everyone to possibly do 3 things or have 3 things as part of your whatever it is that you want to do. All 3 things I think I hope are fairly obvious, but 3 things everywhere. One is, please, and this might sound totally obvious, but you can see how somebody could forget. Please tell people what is going on. In other words, if you have 10 people coming over for coffee and getting together, and it's wonderful, don't forget to tell them that something amazing is happening in the world that day. You could totally forget. You could be like, oh, here we are. It's wonderful. We met each other. No, this is part of a bigger thing, both in terms of geography. It's happening everywhere. And in fact, look, I'm going to show you my phone, and you're going to see people around the world doing all kinds of wonderful things. It's also part of something bigger over time. We'll do something again on 6, 6, 7, 7, etc. And so you're part of something bigger. So one is to tell people in whatever way, both hopefully before that, during it, with a with a URL, with a QR code, with a piece of paper, tell them what's going on. Second, I'll start from the end. We're going to ask you in various ways to just report back on what happened. Let us know, post a photo, send a photo, fill out a form, put something online, so we can actually know, all of us can know what happened. And then sometime in the middle, or whenever you want, stop and ask everyone to take out their device and take a photo of what's going on and share with their friends on whatever, social media they use, and invite their friends to join all of us on 6/6 when we do this again. Like, it's an opportunity for, a wonderful wave to spread around the world and say, on 6/6, wherever you are, let's do more. So one is tell people what's going on, spread the word in the moment together. People get lazy later or they forget, actually, let's do it right now. And second, when we're done, to report back if possible. So no specific set of words, just simply saying people around the world are gathering to, build this thing and to sort of have more generosity, more kindness, more goodness, showing what we can do together. And then, yes, Idealist is doing this, but that's almost like, I think that you don't have to sort of, you'll mention it as you want. That the idea is that people are doing this together around the world, and they can find out more by coming to Idealist and finding out more. Ajan says, what if I'm the only person in my country and there's no one to meet in person? How should I do in that case? Two things. First, I promise you that in a few weeks, you're not going to be the only person in your country. Already, there are more than one in almost essentially every country. And as we grow, second, I'm going to say this, Ajan, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. This also depends on you. I'm sure that you have at least one friend. Invite that friend to join you, and then you're not alone anymore, right? There's already two of you. So you can also do this. And thirdly, this will grow over time. And so even if there are only a few in one place, you can still gather. So two people gathering and doing something will be so much more than one and will be fantastic. But we have 3 months, at least almost 3 months, to grow this pretty dramatically until then. So you won't be alone. Somebody asks, let me see, do you have a checklist, a case study on how successfully to mobilize at a country level? We don't have a successful thing for a country level, but we will be creating that together. One reason that I am very optimistic about all this is that all of you, all of us in the last 10, 20, 30 years have been part of so many things, so many organizing efforts, communities, movements. And doing this, I think all of us have learned a massive number of things of what works, what doesn't work, how to mobilize people, how to start a meeting, how to run a meeting, what is boring, what works, what doesn't work. And I think bringing all of those ideas together is going to be fantastic. So we'll find mechanisms for you to propose your ideas, but there's so many amazing ideas on how to invite a neighbor, how to include people, how to run a meeting, how to reach people, develop media kits together so we can send to local media. So it's not just us, it's not just me, certainly. It's all of our ideas coming together. We've all learned so much, and people propose things that we've never thought about. Though together we'll get there. Let me see. Uh, Daniel from Nigeria. Can one create an idea with the local community just to create a positive impact? Please, that is the whole idea. Christopher Rose, you're in Spain. How can you find people in the same country? So two things about that. One is, I don't know if you can see on the screen, my colleague Elena Martin is going to raise her hand. She's in Madrid, and she'd be happy to meet with you depending on where you are. But the bigger question here is what I said earlier. Beginning next week and certainly the week after that, we're going to have a mechanism. You'll find your country or you'll find your city, and we'll connect you to people there. Okay, so it's a thing that we have to solve together. I can't tell you now, today, how to find more people in Spain. We'll solve that in the next week or two. You'll go to one page and you'll find the people in Spain there, and then you can congregate together from there. Do we need to put on LinkedIn, for example, that we're volunteers and Idealist? You don't need to. It would be wonderful if you did. So already this week, some people started saying on LinkedIn, those of you who use LinkedIn, that you have a new position as a volunteer with Idealist. LinkedIn loves that kind of thing. And so please do, if you feel like it, if you want to do it, no one is, we're not going to just go for it. Say you're volunteering with Idealist and please do that. How do we handle branding, t-shirt, etc.? More awareness. And so, yes, so my colleague, again, Matthew, is going to share a page with you where you can see where you can take this logo that we're using for this in any way you want. Matthew is going to share that. You can see incredibly creative things that people have done with the logo so far. We're not right now, selling t-shirts. What we're telling people is take this logo and do whatever you want with it. Put it on a t-shirt, put it on the sidewalk, do whatever you want with it. It's actually cheaper to do what you want where you are than to try to order something from somewhere. I think it also looks more beautiful when people do it on their own. It just looks more interesting than having the same thing again and again. So there's a page there that you can click on that Matt just put up where people have taken this symbol that is no longer really ours. It's sort of yours. You can do whatever you want with it. No need to ask. Just, there's some really basic guidelines there for how to, place it, but do whatever you want with it. And so that's one thing around branding. Yes, there will be mechanisms for providing local guidance and support. Let me think. Okay, one last thing, and then I'll stop and we'll open this up. Is what is the goal for after 12/12 or beyond this year? The goal, over time, is to create a whole environment, starting with days of action, then local groups, then other tools, so that any person anywhere that feels that things around them, anywhere in the world or down the street, could and should be better, has a place to start. I mean, the basic idea here is that so many people would like to do something, but don't know where to start or who to work with. And that's the problem really that we're trying to solve. Um, I'll look at the chat later. That's the basic goal. There's no like one final goal. The goal is to basically make it much easier for people everywhere to connect and act and imagine what is possible. And the faith is that many, many people are waiting for that to happen. And for now, with one little story for you, about 10 years ago, there was an election here in the US. And I had lunch with a woman who was, older. She was, I think, 60 something at the time, older than me 10 years ago. And she and three friends had talked about, going together to a different area of the country near New York to basically invite people to vote for their party, what they call go door by door, knocking on doors. And so one of them said, that's a nice idea. Let's go on Saturday. I think it was a Tuesday. But before we go, let's ask other friends if they want to come with us. And so they asked around on a Tuesday. And by Saturday, they had to rent 4 buses for 150 women who all wanted to go together. And it turned out that all of them had been waiting for someone to invite them. That's what they learned that day, that in fact, all their friends wanted to go, but someone had to invite them. So basically, I think the idea here is that many, many of us are wanting to be invited to do something good, and that together we can do that. So let me see if there's anything else in the Q&A right now. And people are saying, I'm attempting to do a statewide community meal over the course of the entire day. If you can do a fundraiser opportunity for all of these statewide guests, yes, I mean, a fundraiser can happen, but the fundraiser, hopefully, Dylan, can't be for you. In other words, please raise money, but for a cause. The idea is not to use this in any way to raise money for anyone specifically. And I'm going on a trip with my high school friends. Wonderful. We'll be visiting a museum. How we can turn that experience into something that meaningfully supports this campaign. We can talk about that, but I love the idea. I love that you're coming from that perspective. This is why we're also taking time. Last question here. I love your idea. I live in a neighborhood where people earn $2 per day. I see young people without jobs, and I wonder what to do about that. I can't do anything about this. What do you think we can do to reduce poverty or hardship? As I said, there's no single answer or solution to just, solve poverty. These are huge problems. All we can do is start, take one step at a time, take ideas that have worked in different places. We're going to open the mic now. I'm going to pick for a second on Amber. She has her thing. I'm going to pick on you, Amber, because I think that you have a great example of what some people in Haiti have done about poverty and about what they can do for themselves, even if it hasn't, revolutionized Haiti, but it's changed some life for the best. Maybe tell us a bit about that, and then we'll go from there as an example of what people can just get up and do if they want to do it. Matthew, can you give the mic to Amber, and then we'll go from there with any comments or questions that people have, briefly to keep this focused, and then we will end there. Amber, let's hear your voice. I can rest.
Very humbled, gosh, on the spotlight. But long story short is I moved to Haiti about 12, 13 years ago. And essentially there's a water bag that is used to distribute potable water. Many of you know it in different parts of the world, sealed on all 4 sides, and you bite off the corner and drink the clean water. And we have begun collecting those water bags as a way to teach about the environment, that they shouldn't be thrown onto the ground. But then also we collect them, and we've created a way to change them. We don't per se recycle, but we upcycle them into strong and durable products that can be used for years and years. So we call it peace cycle, like the cycle of peace. And the goal is to teach people about the environment, again, not to throw their trash on the ground, but even more so that there can be value in something that once had no value. And our ultimate goal is to teach that about the human person as well, is that giving dignity to the person who once saw that they had no value, and recognizing that I can be picked up and washed off and made anew and made stronger and better than I was before. Because when it was just a little plastic bag carrying water, it was kind of very trivial in the world. But once we make a very strong, durable tote bag with it that can carry heavy potatoes to the market and things like that, then it's kind of just been made into something better and stronger. And the goal is that the staff that makes them also builds that dignity. So it's a small project in the scheme of the world, like you said, but changing few lives each day does make a difference. And those people then can go on, and they've been able to, all of the staff who does this has never had an education, but now that they have a salary, they're allowing their children and grandchildren to go to school, which was something they never had a chance for. So things like that changes the cycle. That's why we call it peace cycle, put a positive into a negative cycle and create positive. I feel like that's what everybody here at Idealist is hoping to do. And I'm just honored to be on a call with so many amazing people who are also wanting to change the world. So thanks for bringing us all together.
Thank you, Rose. So I finally had a moment to look at the chat. And people, of course, do this. I told you, don't try to use the chat right now to gather, in Kenya, Pakistan, etc. We will gather you. It's better, I think, if we get back to you with basically local groups and places to go instead of trying to do it right now on this chat. Don't worry about it. Giving each other's phone numbers and emails, as I'm seeing on the chat, is nice, but it's not the most efficient way to do this. And also, we don't know, who's who, etc. So please, we'll get back to you. We only started a week ago. Give us a few days, and we will get you all. We'll all get organized in a way that sort of makes sense. We can all get together. Okay, so don't worry about it. You will find each other. I promise you that everyone in Kenya and Nigeria and Pakistan will find each other. Let's just give us a moment, and we'll get it done. Okay. Who else wants to say hello, or just how you're feeling, or if you have a question or a comment that you would like to share? Raise your hand using the little, I think Zoom has like a raise your hand thing that you can raise your hand. That way Matthew can see you and give you the mic. Let's see. Nassim. Oh, there you are.
Hello. Thank you, Amy, for sharing all those informations. Can you hear me though? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So thank you. I've gained a lot of information from you, and I think this is the best opportunity for me and for us, all of us from across the world, to start this new program, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I just had one question that I have asked Matthew about concerning having the email idealist.org. If maybe in the future we can have access to that, and yeah, I think you've explained everything, and I'm really excited to start this project. And thank you so much.
Yeah. So giving, at idealist.org email to everyone is more complicated. We may do it at some point. Right now, the people that work here have it. We use just an email system that we use to do that. But I think being able to do that more, we'll see if we can do it. I can't promise, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, Nassim. Nassim, where are you? Just your mic back for a second. I don't know if you can get the mic back or not.
All right. I'm Nassim Chachin from Morocco. I'm 22 years old, and
Okay.
I have launched a lot of activities here in Morocco. I've taught French, Arabic, and also I've participated with Isaac, if you know that company, Isaac. And yeah, and maybe in the future I would be a good partner with you, inshallah. Thank you.
Let's see who wants to go next. We have a couple minutes more before we do something to end, and let's see who is there. Usanebong. Jonah, can you tell us how you pronounce your name and where you are, and then go for it? Oop.
Yes, I'm Usanebong. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Usanebong. I'm from Nigeria. I'm very much happy to be part of this wonderful program. I've already seen the vision of Idealist that is going to, in fact, propel me to the area that I'm aiming at. I'm a proprietor. I've organized a small school, nursery and primary school, which is an area that need much more services and much idea. So for me to see this opportunity, I'm so glad. And I want you people to work with me to help the children in my area. We have a lot of like refugees, those that cannot pay fees and this, but I try to organize them. And maybe by the next time, maybe I will take a screenshot. I will also let my colleague, my partner, my friends to get to know them. In fact, like today we have ended a midterm break. Like we are going midterm break after social activity. So if I would have done, maybe I would have taken a video of it so that
Thank you.
you can also look at it. And I also want to be a very big, very great partner with with Idealist,
Thank
so
you.
that we change the world. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. I think one more, Ibrahim, I think also Nigeria, maybe, I don't know. Ibrahim, where are you?
Hello, Ami. Hello, everyone. I'm Ibrahim from Nigeria. Can you hear me?
I think it froze for a second. We can't hear
Hello,
you.
everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Ibrahim from Nigeria.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Ibrahim, I'm sorry, we can't hear you very well. Try one more time, and if not, let's see what we can do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Ibrahim from Nigeria. I just want to talk a moment to appreciate the feeling in this room. Sometimes when we are looking at news, we are dealing with local challenges, whether here in Nigeria or anywhere around, anywhere else. The world can be very big and very disconnected. Sorry to say, but sitting here, listening and seeing faces from so many different places, the world feel very small neighborhood. I just wanted to say thank you everyone for showing up. It reminds me that no matter where we are usually worrying about the same thing and hoping for the same thing. That is what all I can say. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. That means a lot. Let's see, Emmanuel and Dylan, and then we'll end for now, and we'll have a couple of things that we want to do with you. But Emmanuel, go. I don't know. Does he have the mic, Matthew? Emmanuel or Dylan? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm requesting for you to unmute yourself. So try and you should be able to now.
Okay.
Let's go with Dylan.
Dylan, try. Dylan, go for it.
Good morning or
Good morning.
evening or wherever you are. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for this. I'm in Illinois, so in the wonderful freedom-filled country of the United States right now. And I run a nonprofit called the Humankind Initiative, and we have a quote that we go by that I said once, and someone put it all over bumper stickers that just said, if we flood the world with allies, we can drown out the hate. And I was in the midst of doing something for a group of trans kids in our area, and this email popped up, and it was just the most opportune moment to get this email. It always, in my eyes, was focused globally and outside of the United States for most of my life. And what could we do? What could we do? What's happening, now locally has just been a slap in the face. And I think this is needed now more than ever to bring everyone together, and just show that it needs to start where you are and then spread further. So if we're all starting where we are right now, it's just going to rampantly run over with kindness. So I just wanted to reach out from Illinois and say thank you very, very much for bringing us all together and doing this.
Thank you so much, Dylan. On that note of a wave of overwhelming kindness, a tornado, a tsunami of kindness, I think that's a good way to end or start this morning. Thank you. I somehow made it through this. Matthew, my colleague Matthew Chavez likes doing something at the end of these things, which he'll tell you about in a second. And then we'll do one last thing and then we'll go. But thank you all, and we'll be in touch. And I am very optimistic that I'll see your face again at some point. I love knowing sometimes bits and pieces about the future if possible. And I would love to know that I will see your face again sometime soon. Let's see, Matthew, go for it.
Hey everyone, I'm the senior producer here at Idealist, and I love all things photo and video. So I would love to take a group picture with everyone. If you would like to turn on your camera, you can be part of our group picture. That would be really wonderful. And then if you want to do a fun reaction, you probably have some that you may not even know about. Next to the share button down at the bottom, you can make hearts appear. You can make all kinds of fun emojis appear. So you can do something like that if you want to, or put in hearts on the left-hand side. You'll see them showing up, cascading up the call. And then if you have any like the features on your computer, you can do things with your hands. It's very fun. So anyway, while people I think are almost finished getting set up, I'm ready to go. So go ahead and do whatever reaction you want. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, fantastic. Got it.
Okay, now for the last crazy moment of the day, which I think you're going to remember for the rest of the day at least, is Matt is going to open all of your mics and we can all say goodbye at the same time or whatever you want to say. So you're going to hear voices from all over the world. Go for it, Matthew. The mic is yours. Open your mics. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Great seeing everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye from Tanzania.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Great day.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Good job again, guys.
Goodbye.
Take
Good care of
Everyone.
No French speakers here. Personne ne parle français.
Bye, everyone.
No
Bye,
French
everyone.
speaker.
Bye, everyone. From Kenya,
Au
Nairobi.
revoir.
Thank you.
From Kenya, Nairobi.